my host. She's a little bit under the weather, but the show must go on. Okay, so before we get into the interview, we're going to roll the trailer. Krystal Krysanthemum! That was so great!
Krystal.
So, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I'm on my promotional tour, so I'm here with you guys, which is great.
I'm happy to have you.
Yeah, I'd love to be here. So I've been in Rome the past few months filming Titus Andronicus and directing it. It's been a lot of fun working with all the actors.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the movie?
Yeah, Titus Andronicus is based off of Shakespeare's play, and in my film I just really wanted to focus on the plot, seeing that it is the most important aspect. So the film highlights the action and revenge of the play Titus Andronicus.
It sounds like you were following the Aristotelian guidelines that were outlined in Poetics.
Yeah, I was.
So can you tell us a little bit about that? I know from experience that the plot is held above everything else. Did you follow that? Did you stray from that?
No, I actually stayed close to the plot, because the plot, we focused more on the action. It's based on revenge, so yeah.
I could tell by the trailer that revenge was a prevalent theme. How did you make that decision to highlight that instead of the violent aspect?
It's actually a tragedy, and there's actually many types of tragedies, and this one's obviously the revenge tragedy, which dramatizes the predicament of a wronged hero, and that hero is could be either Titus himself or even his daughter Lavinia.
So you decided to keep in Lavinia's rape and her tongue being cut out. Could you tell us how you decided to keep that in the movie instead of cutting it out?
Actually, since I'm basing it off of Poetics, Aristotle sees that the action is more important than the character, which I have mentioned previously, and he shows this because Lavinia doesn't use any words throughout this. It's just her tongue being cut out, her being raped. So it's action. So action is more important than the words.
So you would say emphasizes the plot.
Yes.
Well, since you said you were going off of Aristotle's Poetics, let's talk about the characters. So would you say that Titus Andronicus is a tragic hero?
Yes. A tragic hero will start out good, and his downfall will be caused by an experience. So the hero could not be bad because the audience is supposed to sympathize with the hero, and when something terrible happens, we want them to feel pity and not applause or not joy.
Okay, so going off what you just said, you stated that a hero's demise is caused by an experience. Would you say that the experience is caused by the faults of others?
No, a hero's downfall actually comes from their personal error. So Titus's hamartia is hubris and reason for his bad choices, as it fuels his patriotism and traditionalist values, as well as lust for revenge.
Okay, and so for all of you guys that don't know what hamartia is, it's a fatal flaw leading to the downfall of a tragic hero or heroine. Titus Andronicus was actually Shakespeare's first ever tragedy, and it can be characterized as a revenge tragedy, which pivots around confusion between justice and revenge. So I have a question geared towards the character Aaron. What would you say motivates his actions?
Well, actually, revenge is the primary theme of Titus Andronicus. All the characters are driven by revenge, Aaron included. Although I stress the theme of revenge heavily, some elements need to be achieved through the use of speech. One of those elements is the stimulation of feeling. The main feeling is, of course, revenge. There's actually one of my favorite quotations in the original text that I've included into the movie, which is, "Vengeance is in my heart, death is in my hand, blood and revenge are hammered in my head." So it's just vengeance and revenge. They're just the main theme throughout the whole movie. It's not just Aaron, it's all the characters.
Okay.
We're going to take a break while we have a message from our sponsors.
Hi, welcome to Goth Prince Pies, where our ingredients are fresh and our pies are made from flesh.
Hi, can I have the Demetrius and Chiron pie, please?
Yeah, sure, coming right up.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the late early morning show. We are here with the director of the new movie Titus Andronicus, Krystal Krysanthemum.
And just to recap, today we're focusing on the soul of tragedy, which is defined in Aristotle's Poetics by plot, character, thought, diction, melody, and spectacle, which can all be seen in her film.
So Titus Andronicus is written in Shakespearean language, and did you keep this in your film, or did you change it at all?
Yeah, I actually have been, I have kept the Shakespearean language in the film. Like all of Shakespeare's plays, Titus Andronicus is written in a combination of verse and prose. The upper class speak in iambic pentameter, and the commoners tend to speak just like we do, in regular prose. Titus Andronicus also uses a lot of puns and wordplay as well, so you need to be witty to keep up.
We were lucky enough to view the film, and I noticed that you did keep everything very symmetrical, just as Shakespeare did, with the use of speech through phrases and, even within the characters.
Yes, we did try to keep the words or the script as close to the actual play as possible.
So moving on to the fifth point that Aristotle makes in Poetics, what would you say that the tone of the play is, and how did you achieve that tone?
So the words need to be pleasurable and sound nice. This is what Aristotle calls melody, which is the fifth term. Since there's no musical numbers, this melody comes from the diction, which I have previously talked about. The play does have a continuous dark tone, which we have also chosen to highlight in the film.
So the sixth and final term is spectacle, and people seem quite capable of viewing with pleasure psychopathic and violent behavior, but if that were to happen in real life, they would be horrified by it. Do you think that this pleasure stems from a different source other than the one Aristotle identifies?
No, the pleasure doesn't only stem from watching the empathic and violent behavior that is seen in the film. It also comes from the connection between character and audience. So the film affects the audience's emotions through pity and fear, bringing out this pleasure.
That's all we have for our show today. Thank you for joining us. This is our last show. It's very sad. We're very happy that we've had Krystal Krysanthemum with us.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
This has been the Late Early Morning Show.
Leigh, Lavender signing off.
Reine, Rosemary signing off.
Bye.
Bye.